Hi friends, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to discuss the most important international organizations and conventions for the UPSC Prelims Examination 2025. First, I'm going to discuss the context, why these organizations are important for this year, and then I'm going to discuss in detail about that organization, what can be asked in the UPSC prelims examination. So I'm going to discuss 5 organization and conventions, so stay till the end. Please prepare all the 5 topics because any of this can be asked in the prelims examination. There's a very high chance. Okay guys, so the very first organization is International Criminal Court. Guys, recently you know that Philippines ex-president has been arrested and is being tried by International Criminal Court for crime against humanity. Therefore this organization becomes very important. If you see, last year the ICC had issued arrest warrants against Netanyahu, Gallant and Hamas commander. Therefore guys, this organization has been in news for the last 2-3 years. Even in 2023 this organization was in news in the context of the Russia-Ukraine war. So guys, ICC is the most important organization. Let us see details of this. So guys, what I have done is that I have prepared Optima card for revision of this international organization. You can see ICC is the first permanent international criminal code established under the Rome Statute. This is very important. Okay, it is established under the Rome Statute, and the main objective of this is to end the impunity against those individuals who are committing crimes against humanity. This is very important. Okay, so the location, the headquarter of this organization is in Hague, Netherlands. The ICC serves as court of last resort for prosecuting those individuals who are charged of 4 different crimes. What are these 4 different crimes? Genocide, war crimes, crime against humanity and crimes of aggression. These are the 4 different crimes. If you are accused of these 4 crimes, then you can be tried by International Criminal Court. Remember this, that International Criminal Court is against individual. This is very important, individuals. Okay, one more thing is guys, this International Criminal Court does not replace the national courts, it complements them. This is very important, it complements them. Okay, so guys, what they can ask you is, they can ask you the comparison between International Court of Justice and International Criminal Court, because many times candidate can get confused between International Criminal Court and International Court of Justice. International Court of Justice is an organ of United Nations, but International Criminal Court is an independent organization. This is very important. One more thing what you need to know is that International Criminal Court does not have its own police force. This is also very important. So it depends upon other countries for arresting those individuals against which arrest warrants are issued by International Criminal Court. Here guys, I would like to tell you that please do prepare the list of countries. Let me just tell you, list of countries who are not the member of ICC. This is very important. So guys, you can see India is not the member, America is not the member, China is not the member, Israel is not the member, Russia is not the member. Okay, so this is very important. You may get question on that. So before we discuss the difference between ICJ and ICC, let me first tell you that even ICJ is very important this year. You can see this news guys. South Africa has basically raised a case before the International Criminal Court against Israel for committing genocide in Palestine's Gaza. Okay, genocide. So under the Genocide Convention. So this convention also becomes very important. And guys, you know, 14 other countries have shown their interest to join this ICJ case, International Court of Justice. So UPSC may also ask, what is International Court of Justice? So International Court of Justice is a principal judicial organ of United Nations. Guys, ICC, International Criminal Court, was not part of United Nations, but this ICJ is an organ of United Nations. This is very, very important. Okay, it was established under the UN Charter. This is very, very important. It's a permanent court. It's a permanent court, guys, and this is also headquartered in the same place. Okay, Hague, Netherlands. Okay, this is very, very important. Okay, so guys, all members of United Nations are automatically the parties of ICJ. This is very, very important. You can see Hague Palace in Netherlands. This is very, very important. Okay, one more thing you should understand is that generally the cases which comes to International Court of Justice is between two state parties. Okay, this is very, very important. Two state parties. This is very, very important. Okay, so the difference between ICC, it is against what? Individuals. And if there is between two countries, it is ICJ. That's why, guys, South Africa, okay, when it has raised issue against Israel, it has gone to ICJ. Okay, one more thing is that judgment which is passed by ICJ is legally binding. Legally binding. Okay, but the problem is, guys, it does not have any organization to implement the judgment. Okay, this is very important. So guys, what they can ask you is, they can ask you the difference between ICC and ICJ. The major difference is ICC is a criminal court. It is basically under Rome Statute, whereas ICJ is an organ of United Nations formed under the UN Charter. This jurisdiction, ICJ jurisdiction, is between the states, whereas ICC jurisdiction is against individuals who have committed crimes against humanity. This is very, very important. So ICJ does not prosecute individual crimes, whereas ICC prosecutes individual crimes. This is very, very important. This is very, very important. Okay, this you should definitely keep in mind. Okay, this you should definitely keep in mind. Okay, so guys, here if you see, there is one convention which is very important, is the Genocide Convention, because South Africa has accused Israel of committing genocide. So what is this Genocide Convention which can be asked? So Genocide Convention, which is also called the Convention for Prevention and Punishment of Crimes of Genocide, is an instrument of international law that codified crime of genocide for the first time. For the first time, it basically gave the definition of genocide. Okay, so according to Genocide Convention, genocide crime is crime that takes place both at the time of war and at the time of peace. So genocides can be committed both during war and during peace. This is very, very important. This definition of genocide has been taken for the Rome Statute also. Okay, this is very, very important. It was adopted in the year 1948. This is very, very important. 1948. It obligates the state parties to prevent and punish genocide. One more thing which you need to keep this in mind is that only 153 states are party to this Genocide Convention. There are 41 United Nations countries which have not yet ratified this. This is very, very important. Okay, find out which are these 41 countries. This is very, very important. Okay, so persons accused of such acts of genocides can be tried as International Criminal Court. However, the jurisdiction of Genocide Convention is with the ICJ. Okay, application of this convention is by ICJ, but if there is any individual who is committing genocide crime and if the state or the country's national courts are not able to punish him, then ICC will take up that case. Okay, this is very, very important. Okay, otherwise the implementation of this convention is with ICJ. Okay, so the states which are party to this Genocide Convention are obligated to do some functions. For example, to commit, okay, not to commit genocide, then obligation to prevent genocide, obligation to punish genocide. So these are some of the obligations of states which have committed to this Genocide Convention. Again, all United members are not part of this Genocide Convention. Again, a very important topic is, guys, you see Geneva Convention. Geneva Convention and Arms Treaty we are going to discuss. But before that, let me tell you guys, like this, I am predicting important questions in the prelims examination. So if you are preparing for 2025, please do consider taking these important predicted questions, because every year guys 20 to 30 questions are directly or indirectly coming from my predicted questions. If you practice these predicted questions, there is high probability that you can score very high in the prelims examination guys. So next topic is the Geneva Convention guys. Geneva Convention is international legal standard for humanitarian treatment during the war. Basically it is law for war. So even during war we have to follow some laws. These laws are international humanitarian law, which is Geneva Convention. Okay guys, so Geneva Convention was ratified by 196 states. Okay, 196 states including all UN member states. Okay, all UN member states have ratified the Geneva Convention. So guys, Geneva Convention is basically international humanitarian law which is basically regulating the conduct of armed conflict and seeks to limit the impact. So how we should conduct ourselves, how the countries should conduct ourselves, how the military forces should conduct themselves during a war. This is very very important. They specifically protect people who are not participating in war, for example civilians, health workers and aid workers. This is very important. Why Geneva Convention is important? Because recently, okay, during this Palestine war, okay, there were some incidents of attack on civilians also. That is why this topic becomes very very important. Geneva Convention, very very important. Geneva Convention, very very important. So core principles is humane treatment without discrimination, protection of non-combatant. So non-combatant, people who are not participating in war, even the war criminals, okay, war criminals, and how to protect them, that is part of the Geneva Convention. The last topic which I feel which is important for this year is the arms treaty. Very very important, arms trade treaty. This was in news guys in the context of the Israel Palestine war. Guys, remember this, it is a treaty which is a kind of a legally binding treaty. It is a legally binding treaty which is basically negotiated by United Nations to establish common standards for international transfer of conventional weapons. Okay, for regulating the transfer of conventional weapons. Okay, this was a treaty which is a legally binding treaty negotiated by United Nations. This is very very important. So basically this treaty aims to regulate international trade of conventional weapons for purpose of contributing to international regional peace, reducing human suffering and promoting cooperation, transparency and responsible action. This is very very important. 105 countries have ratified this treaty. India has not voted in favor of this treaty. India has abstained. This is very very important. So India is not part to arms trade treaty. This is very very important, very very important. Okay, so guys, what kind of arms are prohibited to be sold to countries where this can be used against, okay, like the common people, okay, or this can be used against genocides, or this can be used for genocide or war against humanity. Okay, so any suspicion that the weapons which you are selling, which a country is selling to other country, can be used against civilians, then you should not sell those weapons. That is the overall idea of this. So guys, you can see battle tanks, armed personal carriers, artilleries, fighter jets, attack helicopters, warships, missiles and small arms and light weapons. All these are prohibited under this to be sold to those countries which can misuse this against civilians or war crimes or genocides. This is a very very important topic guys. You may expect this. So guys, you can see like this, I have been predicting important topics for the UPSC prelims examination. I can assure you guys from this video, definitely you are going to get one question in the prelims examination. And in my predicted question series, I am framing question on all these 5 topics. So when you solve these questions in the test series, and if you find similar question on the day of exam, your confidence is very high. Guys, please do consider taking these tests, because only 60 days are remaining for the prelims examination. Now is the time you take grasp of your prelims examination, you take hold of your prelims examination and make use of each and every day to the fullest extent. Thank you guys. Bye bye. Take care.